Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vault Companions. We are playing episode 4 of The Wolf Among Us, Sheep in Wolf's Clothing. No more, sorry, Sheep in Wolf's Clothing. We'll be playing a mod of Kids on Bikes, and I am Patrick, the narrator. My pronouns are he, him, and I will throw it over to Hamna.
Hello everyone, my name is Humna, I use any and all pronouns, and today I will be playing Saibo, who uses she, they pronouns. And I will pass things over to Tenny.
Hi everybody, I am Tenny. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Snow White, who also uses she, her pronouns. Gwen.
Me. Hey, I'm Gwen. I use she, her pronouns. I will be playing Lynn, who also uses she, her pronouns. Again, can't promise I won't grab anybody. Pass it over to Ran.
Hi, I'm Ren. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be, as usual, playing Nerissa, although she's been telling some people that her name is Alvera. Also, she, her pronouns.
As you can see, we have an incredible cast assembled before you. And if you'd like to leave a tip, we have a tip jar. $3 will buy Fate Advantage, can be useful. $5 will buy Magic and Adversity Token, that can come in handy. And $10 will buy a Glamour, which is a +4 to any roll. Visit ko-fi.com/Vault Companions or click the link using !tip in chat. Now, content warnings. Wolf Among Us is set in a fantasy world similar to our own. Please enjoy responsibly. Content warnings for this episode may include guns, fantasy violence, harm to loved ones, substance use, body horror, monsters and monstrosities, descriptions of severe illness, human trafficking, sexual acts/sex work, characters in crisis after traumatic experiences, both recent and in the past, and medical trauma. We encourage you to step away if at any point this content becomes not enjoyable for you. We are keeping each other safe at the table and want you to enjoy safely too. Use !CW in chat to review our content warnings at any time. Now, we last left off, Fables had a quick peek on Boy Blue's new girlfriend, Darling. It found her in the company of a dark figure. Seems to match very closely with the Queen, who they've been very curious to talk to. And we open up on the main office, the large cavernous space full of artifacts and books and all minutia related to these fairy tales. It's early in the morning as everyone steps into the office to begin investigations anew. Where would you like to head off to?
Well, Snow, it seems that you've got a rat in the office.
Seems like it. It wouldn't be the first time. I think we need to get to the bottom of this pretty quickly. I know that's pretty obvious, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, that we are.
I think this address, we really need to look at it.
Okay, and Darling?
What do you all think?
Low-level threat, though. Has she been snooping around here? if we go, are they gonna know we're coming?
You know what? That's a great question. I would like everyone to give me a snoop check. I'll say the difficulty here is gonna be a 7. Now, I believe Hamna and I think Penny are both working on a bit of a disadvantage because of the failed sneak checks from previously.
Oh, are we? I thought that was only. I have written down that I take a more +1 difficulty to sneak checks, and then I have magic tokens are halved.
Yes, that as well. So
Okay, so there's a third thing. Okay, so this is
no,
what is the difficulty?
that's the 2 that you are working on. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So you should so this shouldn't affect you. I'm sorry. I was misinterpreting. But go ahead and roll your snoop checks.
I actually got a 10. And it exploded.
Oh, go ahead and roll again.
8.
18. Okay.
I got a 19. I also exploded.
Nice.
Okay.
I got a 3 on my D6.
Okay.
I do.
Go ahead and give yourself magic tokens. I think for Nerissa, it's hard to determine where the biggest threat is coming from. You have this kind of kingpin, if it's to be believed, that is pulling the strings, but then you have someone that is very close on your heels, immediately in the action, kind of muddying the waters. And I think, Lynn, I think there's probably like a frustration that you feel that like this just kind of has been lingering the entire time. And it's just hard to kind of focus on anything else other than the fact that it's hard to get past betrayal, even if you didn't know that it was happening the entire time. However, for the Snow, I think you can kind of... Darling is certainly feeding information. However, it seems that she's feeding information through Boy Blue. She's using anything that he would be running on, anything that he'd be delivering messages on, in order to intercept or kind of co-op in a way. So you know that you have this mole, but you also have like a level of control about it. All you have to do is keep Boy Blue out of the picture until you want to deal with Darling. Saiba, you're looking at the totality of this. You're dealing with missing persons, mundane crime, magic that is high level that would be very expensive to procure on your own. You're looking at the queen and you're like, you need to fill out this picture. Right now, there's just this nebulous threat that has so much power from the unknown. Being able to put any kind of face, any kind of information, anything that you can pin on them takes away a little bit of their gusto, a little bit of their power. And it feels like that's the place to start. Even if you don't have, even if you can't storm through their front door, level a finger at them and say, J'accuse. It's still, just being able to put information in the right place seems a very valuable action right now.
Okay, then we go for the head of the snake, so to speak.
You all get into the Fabletown car and you drive over. It's an address in Manhattan. It's in Chelsea, a very kind of upscale kind of townhouse. It's a very much not an area that a lot of fables get to. They usually stick pretty close to Fabletown. Having being this far removed seems odd, to say the least. You're driving through a quiet neighborhood that is very much a picture of just quiet suburban life in the city. And you come up to the residence. It's pretty innocuous. It looks very similar to all the residences around it. I will say that the front door seems to have been enlarged. It seems that there is just a very wide, tall double doors that lead up. A very commanding kind of front door presence when compared to the neighbors, and that seems to be the only thing you glean just from the initial as you pull up to the curb.
This is kind of a trap in more ways than one, huh? Just a lot of mundys here.
We have to be careful.
Yeah, I'm not great on careful.
You also have to be fast.
Well, it is Chelsea, so all kinds of people wearing all kinds of costumes for all kinds of different reasons. We can hide in plain sight.
Can I check to see if there's anything we can glean about why this door was enlarged? Like,
Yeah,
for what purpose?
absolutely. Go ahead and give me a snoop check. I'll say the DC is... I'll put it a little bit higher. It's going to be a 9 because you have to kind of intuit some things.
I'm gonna spend 2 magic tokens to re-roll that really quickly. Unfortunately, that does not hit. I got a 6.
I think you're looking at this residence, and it's... If this were merely for opulence, the doors would have gilding, they would have some kind of decorative nature to them. They might have, like, stained glass windows. I'll say you can't glean the actual purpose of the doors, but they seem rather utilitarian. They seem a bit more plain, a bit more functional than if it were simple vanity. And I think that's all you can really pick up on that snoop check.
Hey, all of you princesses, this seem odd to you? A queen and what? Nothing fancy, just some doors?
Well, depends on how much attention she wants to attract.
So not very much, I guess.
Well, not surprising if she wants to keep a low profile, but not too low.
I guess. It just seems weird to be so big and also so boring. I think I could fit through this.
It could be a taste issue too.
Okay, so what's the plan? Do we knock? Do we find a different way in? What's
Do you think she's expecting us?
I hope not.
I hope she
Oh,
is.
yeah. Well, if we hope, then I guess we knock. Are we hoping that she's gonna talk?
Either she will talk or she will lash out towards us, and then we know she's responsible, right?
Well, Snow, you're kind of the boss around here. Do you want to take the lead? Try and talk.
I think we knock and then talk. I feel like the more concealed you are as a person, or the more you're trying to hide whatever she may be doing, I'm sure she has enough context to know that we're on her doorstep already.
You
Right
think
then.
you think we can still assume good intentions from her?
Probably not.
That's unfortunate, or maybe fortunate, depending on what you think about it.
Okay. What's plan B? Because if you don't tell me, I'm just gonna do something.
I'm assuming you're plan B.
I like that. I can do that.
All right,
I think
Snow, it's
she's
all
always
you.
Plan B, yeah. That plan B came in handy with, what was her name? What's her name
Well,
again?
who are you talking about?
Right. No one. She wasn't there. I'm really bad at the subterfuge part. Let's just get in there and see what. Yeah, she's gonna walk up to the door.
You approach the door. It has a simple just buzzer on beside the door. Press it. Chime rings out through the house, and the door creaks open, and a older woman, graying hair, proper suit, opens and just hello. I would assume you wish to talk to the missus. I will bring you there presently, and is going to usher you inside.
Thank you.
I will get closer to you, Snow, and say, everything will be all right.
It's going to have to be.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe we get to know this woman while we're. This is a big place. Maybe you can work your
Everyone
charm.
wants something, right? And if she's not yet kicking us out, then we have something she wants, and it's going to work out.
It always comes with a price, though. You know that. We all know that.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see what it is, and let's see if it's worth paying. But I know that Bigby would try to find a way to pay it for us. So let's. Yeah, let's. We've got this. We've got this.
You follow the elderly woman inside the premises, and I'll say the first thing you notice when you step inside is that it is clear from the space that without announcing it, without being obvious about it, the houses on either side, the walls were knocked down. Like the queen who owns this house bought the neighboring properties and knocked down the walls and has just an enormous space all to themselves in these 3, now 1 homes. You step foot on white and black tile in dim lighting with very like rich wooden accents marking your way inside. You're seeing like chestnut bookshelves with adornments on them, simple yet classy. You're seeing a lot of wide open spaces. The pathway in, there's no like narrow hallway. Everything has a very open feel to it. There's a lot of space to move around. You can like actually probably 3 of you can fit side by side in just this simple hallway as you walk behind this woman. And she leads you straight through the residence toward the back, where she ushers you to an office. Very, like, as you open the door, very low lit. And it's hard for you to tell, but you can see kind of the shape of a figure behind a desk at the far end of the room. Ah, I assume you'd want to speak. Please come in.
I think Snow would lead them towards her, just kind of cautiously, but the way that you would be able to tell that Nerissa's comments before kind of calmed Snow down a little bit, her nerves a little bit. So, but yeah, they would just walk up.
You walk in, approaching this enormous desk. It seems like the figure behind it, though in low light, is in like towers over you. Their presence is huge within this room and this space. I thought that we would be meeting for discussions. I think no need to stand on formalities. We all know each other by now, or at least we should. I mean, you see this figure turn toward Nerissa. I'm a little bit of trouble placing you. Is it Nerissa? Or is it Faith? I'm afraid I'm just at a loss. Or is it someone entirely new? That's
Well,
so strange to
what's in
see
the
you
name?
walking around with with your untimely demise being so public.
I think this is the first time in a long time that the name Faith was spoken by anyone. There isn't really a change in expression to the like she doesn't seem rattled, but I think there is almost like feel this expression of challenge that she is having right now. He just says to her, "Well, what's in the name?"
The bard himself. Well, and I see you brought your retinue, especially your bodyguard. Tell me, is it comfortable guarding all of those women? They must be aware of your past if they would allow you so close. It's so strange that you would hide that sort of thing from those you wish to protect. It's a strange relationship for you to have with clientele, she says as she looks towards Lynn.
I don't have anything to hide. I know what I did. Everyone knows what I did. I don't do it anymore.
Good to be out in the open about things, out so that we all can see exactly what we're dealing with. Isn't that right, Saiba? After all, it's strange. Because as I recall in your story, you famously died. And yet here you are, standing in front of me. It's a bit odd, isn't it? A bit odd that you would be so famously laid to rest, and yet here you are. Perhaps, Snow, you could enlighten us a bit on how that came to pass. I mean, you are so full of knowledge on the workings of things. And tell me, very expensive for a memory charm from the 13th floor. Strange thing to try and balance the books with a personal favor.
You seem to know a lot about us. Ooh.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh dear.
Oh
Hold on.
no.
We seem to have lost someone, so let's
We
go
lost
ahead.
someone.
We're gonna hit a quick pause right now so we can
We'll be right
figure
back.
things out. We'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. So, you are in this room. This very maternal voice, a commanding presence in the room, asking some very probing questions.
Nerissa was in the middle of saying something.
Oh, I was just saying, you seem to know about a lot about all of us. It would be, well, I am a performer. And before I go on stage, I do my homework, I do my research, so I respect that. So, if you have done research on us, if you have done homework on us, I feel flattered that you seems to think that we are interesting enough for you to pay attention to. And it would be disrespectful us for not knowing anything about you in return. So, it's a pleasure to get to know you, and at the very least, I would like to know just a little bit more before I answer any more of your questions. Do you think that's fair?
That's absolutely fair. I mean, what kind of host would I be not to give proper greetings? I think you're all aware that I referred to myself in the past in the homelands as the Red Queen. I tried different iterations of that here, but the only one that stuck was the Queen. I think you know that. I think that's
Of course.
fairly common enough.
It's a name that many have mixed you up with others. It's a name that you have chosen for yourself that makes it difficult for yourself to stand out.
I think I'd like Nerissa to give me a, say, let's give it a slick roll. And you're doing this opposed.
Okay.
This is gonna be fun to watch these two characters kind of have a battle of sass.
Yeah, she's really like not liking this character.
What did you end up getting?
So she is a fable, right? So I
Yes,
have
she is.
+3 on it. And I rolled a 19, and that's 22. Yeah.
You see, she definitely tries to keep everything in check, to try and be proper, to try and be composed. But you see something rankle her at your mention of her being confused with others. A kind of haughtiness comes through as she's. Others are more keen to be all flash and no substance. My dear, I am much different than my compatriots. I have a more definitive core to who I am. None of this pomp, none of this needless decoration that just is nothing more than face value. It's absurd what we all went through at the homelands, only to be so keen to bring it with us.
Really? Because, passing drugs around and making people disappear is kind of textbook royalty shit.
That's not wrong.
I find it insulting that you would lay such suspicions at my doorstep. I do participate in trade, in commerce, but we are subjects of our environment, and unfortunately, recreation is very valuable here. But I don't think I like these entendre that I'm perhaps disappearing those. I'm helping those in need, those that can't be helped by the home office. She turns her gaze directly at Snow. After all, there's so many limitations that you suffer. I simply use my resources to help those in need. I think you may recognize my calling card, and she slides a red pawn across her desktop. I am simply in the market of helping those who are desperate.
All right. We can cut the mind games and the villain origin story spins. All right. We all want answers here, and you know why we're here. So why don't we drop all the pomp and circumstance or whatever you mentioned earlier and just get to the bottom of this?
Well, my dear, you as a representative of the Fabletown government are free to ask me any questions that you'd like. Would be curious to know if perhaps you have with you a warrant signed by the mayor himself. I'm very cooperative, but legal obligations would have made things a bit more transparent. If you give me.
That would be understandable, but you invited us in. And
Oh, yes, and I will fully intend to answer whatever questions I can.
right, and I'm sure you want to keep this as the least messy as it can be. So I don't think a warrant is necessary here. I don't think we need to go to that length. I think we just have a simple conversation. And if we can all be truthful with each other, maybe we end this here and walk away, get back to our lives. It seems like you have a lot going on here.
We're all very busy, so best that we dispense with the sideshow and get to the main affair. What is it you would like?
One of your pawns that you just showed us. Snow would look at the, was it red? The red, like a chess piece, the same one. Does it look identical to the one that we found?
It looks
or was
pretty, not identical, because it seems that these were individually carved. So as identical as it can be, but they're not fabricated. There isn't like a factory that is pushing out these pieces. This was a work of a hand-worked carving.
Okay, and were they both pawns, or was...
They were both pawns.
They were both pawns, okay. Yeah, she would look down at that. We found one of these, or something similar, at a crime scene recently.
Oh my dear, what crime scene? What was perpetrated?
Now, I imagine you would want to know if someone is using your calling cards to do their crime, right?
I certainly wouldn't want to be connected with anything nefarious. I'm simply trying to operate in this city as best we all can.
Are Boy Blue and Princess Darling amongst the people that you were trying to, or you've been trying to help recently?
Go ahead and give me a slick roll.
Okay. You got this.
That is a dirty 20.
Ooh.
She got a 36. She said, Princess Darling.
I'm sorry, what?
I think I've
What is she
heard of
rolling?
her. I think I think we've crossed paths a few times, but really there's just so many that I have minor acquaintances with. I don't think I've done any sort of business with them. This is no need for, it doesn't matter how well you rolled. Clearly this is a lie that you are seeing played out in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know she's lying. She knows I know she's lying. There's just this pantomime happening right now. I think what Narissa is going to do is she's just gonna say, all right, that makes so much sense, Your Majesty. It's as much as I expected, really. I'm sure some people is just using your name and trying to model your reputation, and we're just here to make sure that you know that's been going on, and maybe if there is anything you can do, you can look into it and make sure that no one else is trying to damage your reputation. I am personally here for a secondary purpose. If you wouldn't mind hearing me out. There is a
I'm
premiere.
in service of the people. Please.
That's grand.
Let's
You-
pause you right there.
Mhm.
Hamna, did you have something that you wanted to insert
Just
in the scene?
while this is happening, while Narissa has the attention of the queen, kind of in this one-on-one conversation that's happening, Saiba's not going to move out of their position because they don't want to draw attention to themselves. But is there a roll that I can make to just scan the room very carefully to see if there's anything that seems unusual or any information I can glean from what's kind of around, things like that.
I'll say this. You can choose one of two. You can either do a snoop check, and the DC will be 6, 12, 18 for progressing. Or you can do a sneak check, 5, 10, 15.
Ooh, I'm gonna do a sneak check, and I'll roll that while Narissa is talking.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Narissa, as she is fully caught up in your conversation.
Yeah. She just gonna say, well, I'm premiering a new brand new show tonight at my establishment, as you already know, I'm sure. And Rumpelstiltskin is gonna be there as a special participatory guest.
I am aware. There's been quite a buzz about it, and I'm curious to see kind of story you're trying to push into the public consciousness.
Well, between us ladies, it's always fun to see him squirm a bit, isn't it?
He is a Weasley sort of fellow.
Exactly. You understand. So, if you can spare a moment tonight, that is, and if you would like to support the arts, and I'm sure you have always done that, you would have my personal invitation and could be a guest of honor.
You are most gracious, and I appreciate your invitation. I must decline, however, as I am fortunately occupied with some personal matters. But I can assure you, those on my behalf will know and report back to me exactly what kind of yarn you're spinning.
No, we were delighted to read about all of your reviews.
What did Saiba end up getting?
I got a 14 on the die, and I'm spending 2 magic tokens to bump that up to the 15.
You see there is a bookshelf that has clearly been fabricated, as in it looks to be just a false door. There's no possible way you could leave this room in its current state, but you now know, like, this is a very accessible door that is purposefully obtuse. It is hidden, and it is for very regular access. You can tell that it has multiple uses. This isn't something for a rare hideaway. This is something that is continually in use. And on your 15, I will say you find a docket on the edge of the desk. And you are able to just place your hand up on the desk, slide it down, and have the docket in with you in a way that you are confident you were not seen.
Okay. I will. I think with this information, Lynn being the only other person who's not necessarily engaged in conversation with the queen, Saiba's just gonna nudge you slightly and kind of try to point with her head towards that bookcase to try and get you to notice it as well, but isn't actually gonna do or say anything else. Is gonna let Nerissa and the queen kind of have this repartee.
Squinting at this bookshelf.
I think there is a moment where you're looking at the titles on it, being like, "What are you possibly trying to get?" But there's, it's not. She's not. Saiba isn't pointing out books to you, so you're able to quickly discern some hidden intention behind the bookcase.
Can you imagine if I was like, "Hey, that book looks real good. We should read that."
Yeah. See, that's what Lynn would think first, and just be like, "Why are we doing this right now?"
That would be a gold interaction, just peak interaction between Lynn and Saiba. Just
Lynn is also letting these two engage for the queen, and I gotta ask. Lynn's gonna try to smell something funny.
Yeah, give me a snoop check, and I'll say the DC. It's gonna be a bit tougher because you can tell the queen is someone who is very meticulous, and so I think the DC is gonna be an 11 for a snoop check.
Oh, my hat is good. Okay, that's not gonna happen.
I think. What'd you end up getting?
A 4.
Go ahead and give yourself a magic token. I think you're smelling smells that are very purposefully put in this room. This space has just run-of-the-mill tile cleaner. You can smell kind of the wood varnish. You can't even smell previous meals that have been eaten. You can't smell sometimes offices carry a musty book smell, or paper can have its own kind of, once it piles up, can have its own smell. It is very sterile in a way that is manufactured. This is something that is false and unfortunately impenetrable, and you're just being like blackwalled by this very meticulous woman.
She's doing something in here.
Does anyone else want to make any checks in this space?
Is there any check I can do to like, because I know exactly what Lynn and Saiba is doing. I feel like that's kind of something we would have talked about. Is there anything I can do to just like keep her engaged and keep her distracted so that they can not be observed by her at all? Because
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like scared of how like spidery she is. Like she seems to be able to just know everything at all times. So I wanted to get the attention of not just her, but also like whatever like possible other spies that she has in the room too. I'm just trying to like be a clown in a sense.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna ask for I'm actually gonna make this. No, I'll go ahead and make it a slick check. It is opposed, so you are against a fable.
Okay. That is a 19.
As you are engaging in just spotlight stealing, you're essentially just trying to pull all attention to you. You become very aware that it's dark in this room. This space, you can barely make out her face, what she's wearing. You can kind of see it through the low light. You can see her gaze dart. It leaves you for a moment in a way that does not feel like you got what you wanted. But it's a briefest flicker. And then she is again like conversing with you and just being like, it is a shame. Always said that the pudding and pie was a tarnish on our name. I'm so glad that you were able to turn that around. And with hardly anything to your name, it seems that just goodness and charity fall out of the sky into your lap. This is... I don't remember it being part of your tale, but I misread it. I mean, there's a bit to donkey skin that there's many iterations. I could be mistaken.
Well, that is a new tale that I would like to spin, and if you would like to be a part of the tale, of course, there's always time. Live theater is just as it is. It's never finished. There's always a new version to spin.
You always have a role to fill. Well, if there aren't any more questions that you have, perhaps I have a few myself. And since this isn't a formal interrogation, I assume complete transparency on your part as well, Snow.
Probably more transparency than you're giving us, yes.
Wonderful. Well, I must ask. I don't register my domicile with the Fabletown government. Nothing personal. It's nothing about you that I wish to besmirch, but it's very odd that you have that at your fingertips. You know, it's funny. I was about to ask a question, but I think I know the answer. It's one of those things where you say it out loud and you answer it yourself. Well, I don't wish to hold up any more of your time today. Please see yourselves out, and I will contact you the soonest moment I know anything that might interest you.
Yeah, all right, whatever. I got one more question.
Oh, please.
Sorry.
I am rapt at attention.
Where are the fables you helped?
Make a slick check unless you're being menacing.
She's gonna be menacing. She's not.
Go ahead.
She's not
Go
asking
ahead.
yours. She's saying, "Do it, or I'll get big about it."
Go ahead and make a sharp check.
I love Lynn so much.
This is gonna be rough. I can feel it. I'm sorry. D20s also explode, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Holy sh! Okay. That's a 39.
Describe for me what you do in this space to kind of mollify the queen.
I think what happens is Lynn was already turning to leave, and then she makes the decision to ask that question, but it's like asking without asking, more like a "you're going to tell me this." And there's something to the way that Lynn is standing that reminds the queen how big Lynn actually is, and that if she really wanted to, she wouldn't be looking up at her. And I think that's what's happening, is that Lynn's not even looking at her face, not even deciding to do that while she's smaller than her. She's just, you know I am at your level. Don't play games.
She actually visibly recoils for a moment. A figure that had pretty much was filling the space. You see them withdraw for a moment. Princess Lynn, I can assure you that I have done my utmost to serve those who come seeking my aid. If there are disappearances, perhaps that's something your sheriff should be looking into. Or is he occupied in a cell right now, awaiting trial?
That didn't answer my question.
I can promise you, you will not find any traces of missing fables at my house, at my place of business, or amongst any of my associates. If they've disappeared, they're gone. I think,
And they're gone.
Lynn, I think you pick up something from that. You were being menacing, and she was trying to reciprocate. That, when she said, they're gone, that is a fate, something that has happened to them. This is not just a state of being. They're gone, something has happened to them. And it sounds like she might have tipped her hand and that she has indicated she had something to do with it.
Right. They're gone. By the way, it's Prince Lin. Adieu.
You are the elderly woman motions you out the front door and says farewell and closes the doors on you, and you are left back out on the street.
Saibo will pull Snow a little off to the side slightly immediately as soon as we're out of here. Hey, I thought that memory charm was supposed to have worked on everyone. What was that?
You are as surprised as I am. The only thing we can hope is that we kept a good enough poker face to get out of there without raising any suspicion, but that's another mystery to add onto the list.
Okay, well, if it didn't work on her, that means that there might be other people that it didn't work on, and that
is a problem. Yeah, a big problem. That was a huge risk that I thought was calculated, and now I'm realizing that the math was incorrect. So we should definitely bring this to Bigby. I know that that's the last thing we should put on his plate, but
yeah, maybe. Oh, by the way, and Cyber will pull out the docket and we'll kind of hold it up for everyone to see. I swiped this from the office. I don't actually really know what it is, but it seemed important.
Once you open it... Oh, continue?
Oh, just a quick last question. Just no one saw you do that, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get out of this without burning the rest of what would she call it? The government down. What is their building called again?
Kind of. It's
Like
called the Home Office or Fabletown. Like that's
Okay.
kind of like the central hub of it.
Okay.
You open up the docket, and it is a list of several fables that you're able to find Rip Van Winkle on there. You're able to find The Princess and the Pea. All these, you're seeing names that are linked to missing persons and times at which they visited the Queen. Like there's dates and specific times that they visited the Queen. And you're seeing a lot of names that when you were in the club and you happened upon those files, many of those names aren't the ones that were denied, the ones that were rubber stamped away. They're not showing up on this list. There are several, though, that are like that you can recognize from just a cursory glance of through missing persons or from your previous knowledge.
Okay, this might actually tell us something about Shep. Maybe we could take a closer look at this, like really comb through it at the office.
She's definitely getting rid of these people.
I guess the question is how?
I think that's the dangerous part, is that a lot of what she's doing is so shrouded, and wit can be so charming sometimes that you just don't see through it until it's too late.
Hold on 1 second. I think Nerissa is gonna go back to the door and just knock on it and see if she opens again.
The woman that you recognized from before does crack the door open, and I'm sorry, did you leave something?
Well, I forgot to ask. The Queen, I couldn't really ask that with everyone else around?
I'm afraid the Queen has other pressing matters today. If you have any further questions, I'm sure she can find an opportunity to see you at a later date. And she will.
Well, perhaps I will leave a note, if that's all right.
Absolutely. She will correspond when she can. Is there something I can carry to her?
I think she would just write a note to the Queen and say, I couldn't express this with my current colleagues around, but I would very much like to seek your aid. There have been some nuisance around at my establishment that I think your expertise would be very much appreciated. I will pay the price you ask.
Make a slick roll, and I will know the DC, and I will know if you pass or fail.
Okay.
Watch the DC be like 45. With
Oh my
with the
god,
queen.
yeah.
With the queen, I wouldn't
Um,
put it past it.
Hey, it's only a
That is going to be a 18 plus 3, 21. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I just want to dump all of my tokens on it.
Do it. Do it. It's second last episode.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna dump all of my tokens on it. I'm gonna add 5 to that. So 26, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You rolled a 26 on your slick check, and we'll see
Yeah.
if that worked.
Great.
You all are able to get into the Fabletown car. Where was it that you wanted to go next?
I want to go to Bigby and just, I don't know, talk to him a little bit and
Yeah.
even just like to say hi and try to see how he's doing, but without any really purpose or anything like that. But yeah, but I'm happy to do whatever you guys want to do as well.
I think I was going to comb through the files that they stole while those conversations maybe are happening. You know, taking the time to like really go through them and learn what I can from them.
Actually, I think before they get there, Lynn would like to pull Narissa aside for a moment.
Sure.
Boss. Now I know it's not really any of my business. Why did the Queen call you Faith?
Because that was my name. I guess that's out there now, is it?
Does this have to do with what you and Bigby have going on?
Do you remember what happened with the Crooked Man?
Heard about it?
My best friend was killed.
Shit.
And I thought maybe it was my fault. It really wasn't. He was targeting all of us, any of us, really. She was unlucky, and it could have been me. So I pretended that I was me.
And I take it Biggs got wrapped up in that somehow.
I think I would have died without him.
And that's why you never run out of favors for him, huh?
I owe him, and I know he's one of the good ones. Even if sometimes he doesn't look it.
Just certainly doesn't act like it.
No. We all have closets full of skeletons, don't we?
Ah,
And my closet is full of dirty furs and hiding from one past to another. None of it is good.
yeah, some of the phrases that go around here, like mine's literally full of skeletons, like just a lot of people. Anyway, hey, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna say anything.
It's all right. The way I look at it, well, Snow already knows. She's one of the few.
What does she know?
It's just that here in Fabletown, I just thought maybe we have the freedom to decide who we are, who we want to be, and this is who I am. This is who I decide to be, and I want to help in any way I can. Pudding and pie, and it's a place where we can start over. It's a place where I think you get to start over, and I get to start over.
Yeah,
Boy.
doesn't it? But hey, that's why I like you, boss. All right. Well, thanks for telling me that. Let's go give our friend Biggs a visit.
So the car drives all the way back to Fabletown. Narissa, Lynn, you head for the cell in the basement. I'll say, Saiba, would you say, like, you open the files up in Bigby's office, or where would you kind of go for that?
Yeah, sure. Just wherever is gonna where I can be undisturbed. So probably not Snow's office, because I imagine she's gonna get a lot of people kind of trying to meet with her.
Oh, yes,
so yeah, I
absolutely.
think Bigby's office makes a lot of sense because I know he's not using it.
Yeah, usually Bigby used his office as a kind of a place he would hide from certain responsibilities every once in a while, but for the most part he'd be out and about. So even like neck deep in a case, he was usually not in his office, and it's very apparent when you get in there because there's hardly any decoration. It's very like just a standard office. The smell of cigarettes is just infused with everything. There's an ashtray full of butts. There's his files in cabinets, and you are able to open up the docket on the desk and look through anything else that might catch your fancy. I'll get back to you in a moment. Snow, how did you want to do this?
I think if she does have anything to attend to, like in the office, obviously she probably does have a line of people still.
Yeah.
I think she might, if she can't get into her office and get to the mirror, or chat with, just get to the mirror, she would probably just back up Saiba, or make sure that Saiba's good, or even just watch the door for Saiba.
Yeah, I think you check in to make sure that Saiba is set up at the desk, but there's still a lineup in the hallway, and they're all, you know, you were able to quiet them down the last time, but man, they get rankled up so easily. And just seeing you, it's the same refrains, like more shouting about Bigby, how he's a monster, and how there's murderers amongst us, and you see Boy Blue actually comes at you and is like, hey, so I'm trying to sort through everyone and get them all situated. They're very insistent. They really want to talk to you. I've sent away probably about 30 different people, and that's not even the majority of them. They're sticking to it. So I don't know what you want to do about this.
I appreciate you trying to hold them off, but right now we're still in the middle of the investigation. I don't have any answers for you. We
Right.
are nearing the end of it. That's what I can tell you.
That reminds me, you might need to talk to Bluebeard. He's pulling out his executioner's sword, and he's saying some things. I'm trying to keep him occupied too. I got a lot of plates spinning.
I appreciate you spinning those plates. Where is Bluebeard right now?
I was able to get him. He's having tea with the mayor, and then he said he's going to handle the Bigby situation himself. So you may want to dip in and see if you can do something about that.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me know about that. Snow's literally just gonna pause like that and then just walk. Like should just fast walk to the T. Yep. Just can't keeping the composure, but obviously not. Like it's not on the inside.
Okay, Thaiba, I would like a snoop check on these documents. You have so much at your fingertips. It's all a matter of making the connections. So, go ahead. It's gonna be a snoop check, and it's gonna be an 8.
Okay. I think Saiba, once she's situated and Snow has clearly got bigger fish to fry, she is going to go around. The papers are all like spread out on the desk, right? And Saiba sees this ashtray, says to themselves, well, gotta think like Bigby, right? And she will open the drawer where she knows he keeps his cigarettes, is gonna pull out the pack, take one out, light it, take a long drag. Okay, let's see.
That bumps the DC down to 7.
So we should smoke more often, apparently is what I'm learning. I got a 20 because I exploded.
Okay. Wow. So, you start combing through things. Not only do you have the docket, but you have Bigby's notes on things. They're spotty because he's spread so thin. Like what you're reading through is someone being sent on 20 different things in a day with the resources to do 3, and he's got to pick. And so every single time that he gets like any kind of opportunity, you see him dive in hard on these missing persons. Like it's rare that he gets the chance, and so there'll just be like a flurry of notations on like Rip Van Winkle. It's like he was looking into Rip. Rip always felt out of place and he struggled, and Bigby knew that he was seeking help from the Queen, but the Queen, you can see through his notes, he's the sheriff. He can't go anywhere near the Queen because immediately anyone with any kind of connection, any kind of inroad, he's the sheriff, they shut up. Like it's immediate. He has very few sources inward. So he has to do a lot of work around the exterior. And what you're seeing is a lot of these fables, ones were picked out that many of them were specific to fables that could have possibly gone missing and not been missed. So Rip Van Winkle, like, he was definitely the type to be on the periphery of Fabletown. Who even knew that he was gone for like periods of time until suddenly Shep just kind of checks in on him. It's a lucky happenstance. You're seeing so many of these names. The Princess and the Pea, she detested life in the mundane world and was always trying to separate herself from it and didn't have a lot of connections with other fables. And sure enough, she disappeared, and not a lot of fables were the ones who were telling Bigby about it. He kind of had to suss it out himself. And you're piecing this together. Bigby had kind of figured out that these fables are disappearing and he can't find them in this world. And that's saying something because he has the strongest sense of smell anywhere. Indisputable. They are not here. Earth. They aren't here. No corpse, no trail of blood, no hidden bunker somewhere on the other side of the world. They're not here.
Okay. So in this docket that I stole from the Queen, is there a file on Shep? And is there anything I can glean about like when something happened to him and what happened to him? Because I think Saiba's like trying to piece all this together, and there's a point at which she goes, no, she can't have found a way back. And like, I think Saiba's working theory is that the Queen is sending these fables who are unhappy with and disconnected from the mundane world, like back to their back to Fableland. Whether that's true, I don't know, but that is the working theory.
As you're piecing this together, you see constant references in Bigby's notes of Shep bugging Bigby. Like, he'll pop up from time to time, and most of the time, Bigby notes whatever conspiracy theory he's pushing forward at the time, just so that he has a note like, oh, Shep is talking about the adversary has spies here. Oh, Shep is talking about that there's fables that have gone missing. But there's a clear moment where Bigby's like, I think Shep has something. A broken clock is right twice a day. And there's a moment where it clicks for Bigby. And you see kind of a correlation. Bigby is not great at keeping notes, but you can kind of like put the dates together. The date that Shep was scheduled to appear in front of the Queen. You see it was hastily marked in the margins. This wasn't something that was like, oh, we're planning time, a place for you to meet. He's coming here now. And then there is a very thorough investigation, a large block of time by Bigby. And it's only like last week that this comes to pass. This big block of time where Bigby is just like, I'm going to figure out what's going on here. And he gets a bunch, like he's really delving deep into all of the missing names that Shep is throwing forward. He's making progress, and then Shep ends up murdered.
Okay, I gotta get inside that bookcase.
So we're gonna cut from you, Narissa and Lynn. You go down to the basement. That cell door. Snow just gave you the keys because Snow is very busy. And it's like Bigby's not leaving the cell, so it doesn't even matter that we're unlocking it for him. You unlock this big iron door, and it, creaks on its hinges and swings open with a huge thud. And there's Bigby sitting there, his familiar stained button up, his loose tie, and just a bucket of cigarette butts just sitting next to him. He's like, well, I hope you're having a better time than I am.
Ugh, you stink, man.
Yeah, getting locked away is great for hygiene.
Are you all right?
I'll survive.
What can we get you?
Oh, well, if you're taking requests, I'll take, the bourbon, whiskey, let's get some, I haven't had rum in a while, I'll take one of those. What do you mix up lately? Because, might as well.
I don't know if you allow it, but I feel like knowing Bigby, Faith would have already brought a bottle of something. Probably probably a Jameson. And would just pass it to him through the bars and
Yeah.
say, already, gosh, at least one of them.
Well, at least creature comforts, am I right? And he pops it open. I guess he just straight up takes a shot. And he's holds up the bottle and he's like, cheers. Now, I hope this means you're getting somewhere and this is celebratory, or should I have a blindfold on and this is executionary?
Have you at some point pissed off the queen?
The red one.
Yeah. You see him suddenly become very careful. This is a fable that is known for being very headstrong and just pushing into situations, and he suddenly becomes deliberate. I have looked into some connections with the Red Queen. There are no active investigations on the Red Queen.
Ah, you looked.
There might need to be some more active investigations going on.
Have there been any peripheral investigation?
if say someone in an unofficial capacity were to have perused some industrial properties, yeah, I could say that happened.
Any other names you can think of you've looked into?
There's a lot of names that don't turn up results. It's hard to look for something when it's just not there. And believe me, I would know. Or at least the person that was looking would know if they were looking into this investigation. Both of you can go ahead and do a savvy check on this.
Okay.
Say the DC is 6.
Got exploded.
That's doable.
Remember, Flynn was nice enough to get a +1 to a roll for anyone that needs it. So if either of you are just short, that is available.
Mm-hmm.
I exploded twice for 15.
Oh, wow. Nice. Mine is a 10.
You're looking at Bigby, and I think Lynn, you key in that he can't be verbal on this. He can't leave like a, hey, do this thing, look into here. And he just kind of keys you in on, he says, if someone were to have looked at the industrial properties, they would find a very well-connected person who had a lot of advantages and perks that they enjoy in their personal life. The inference being the factory, it's all a show. It's to divert attention. Everything that is going on in the factory is a big circus. It's meant to capture everything that would be looking and hold its attention, because very much so, Nerissa, you're not the only one that likes to guide the spotlight, because there are some things that are happening that aren't in the factory. And he's very heavily like trying to push you in that direction. And then he's like, but who am I to say? A convicted or a suspected felon who could be making a one-way trip down the wishing well. So, I mean, what's my word's worth if I'm going to be executed?
Well, we're a bit low on rum lately, but I could give you a London Dry if you'd like next time.
Gin is just for being sad, and I guess that's appropriate right now. So,
I'd say so.
all right. Well, I wish this could be a social gathering, but and he taps on like the metal jail cell, and he's like, it's not very hospitable. Not a very good host right now.
Have you ever been?
Well, you don't mind hanging out with me when I'm at the bar, so I can't be too bad.
Yeah. But bad enough that you couldn't you couldn't hang on to somebody's cyber? Fucked up. What'd you do?
You see, he definitely palms his own face and just like, there's a lot about being me that I think you understand. I think there's a reason why we're both alone. I don't think it's because people don't want us. I think it might be because we just. I'm worried that I can't.
At least I try. And I would definitely try for someone like Cyber.
It's hard to put Saiba in a place where I'm not ashamed of what I did in the homelands. I am who I am. But I don't think I'm someone that Saiba should really have hanging around them.
They hang around me. I'm pretty good at you, though.
You're charming as hell, right?
Oh, yeah.
Regular.
This is a city of tabula rasa, Bigby. Speaking as someone who is trying every day to rewrite the first page of a new story. Try to be someone else.
I want you to go ahead and take that tabula rasa upstairs to the home office. That line of people are shouting what a monster I am.
We're working on it.
You do that. Until then, I guess I'm, well, you know where to find me.
All right, Biggs. Lynn is kind of fed up.
And as you close the door on his cell, I think we're gonna go ahead and go to break. We're gonna do a quick 10 minutes and then we'll be back. So we'll see you all very soon. All right, welcome back. We are just in the midst of things as Snow heads up to the top floor, which is the kind of mayoral suite, the estate of King Cole, as his mayoral duties dictate. And you come off the elevator to hear pleasant chatter as the two of them are off on the terrace deck next to the pool, discussing with each other. Well, I don't see the problem with it necessarily, but I did give them my word that I would allow them the proper channels and everything. Why are we wasting our valuable time when we have him locked in a cell? We don't trust that the evidence of our eyes is enough to convict this foul killer that we all remember being a killer. And Snow, you quickly happen upon Mayor Cole, the cheerful, jolly old man, discussing matters with a sharply dressed, very broad-shouldered, sharp goatee, bald head, Bluebeard. One of the biggest contributors to the Fabletown funds. Something that he is not shy about sharing. And Mayor Cole sees you. Oh, no! Bluebeard and I were just discussing the matters at hand. Bluebeard holds aloft a large sword. Yes, instead of wasting our time, I can be done with this very quickly, and we don't need to stand on ceremony and nonsense. We can simply elect a new sheriff and be done with it.
So you want to kill a man before the investigation is complete?
Investigation? He's murdered a fellow Fable. We've seen it with our eyes. That poor
Allegedly.
boy's body was torn practically limb from limb.
What evidence do you have that it was him? Have you seen the crime scene, Bluebeard?
I have some information. I'm not acting completely in the dark. I'm simply trying to expedite things so that we can move forward with business. This is a lot of nonsense that is taking up precious time. How many days have you been in your office where you're supposed to be, Snow? I see a lineup outside the doors every single day.
That is none of your concern. And how are you just simply acting on the rumors that you've heard about the crime scene? Because as you know,
Rumors?
Bluebeard, rumors can be pretty fatal in Fabletown. I know your rumors have circulated for months and months, yet we still have you in this position.
If you're implying that my business dealings are anything other than standard and above board, well, then maybe I will reconsider my yearly donation to the Fabletown Fund. You see Mayor Cole quickly, steps in, puts a hand on Bluebeard's arm. No. We don't need to be so hasty. This is simply a matter of allowing the work to be done in the time that it has been allowed. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to allow Snow until Sunday to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
For due process, or as close as we can to come to it, Bluebeard, if there was suspicion that you were the killer in this, would you want us to just simply, let's say we gave you a week for all of us to figure out what's going on, and we cut that off by 3 or 4 days? How would you feel? How would the citizens of Fabletown feel?
Go ahead and make me a slick check. I'll say the DC is a 10.
Okay. Slick check. Brum, 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 brum. 15.
You see, stops brandishing his sword. All right, Snow. We'll allow for this pantomime to play out, but I demand a spot on the jury so that we can make sure everything is proceeding as it should be. This man has no position in the Fabletown government.
Was he like, okay, so he was kind of like an executioner in the game, right? Like he was like the person that would go in and
he
interrogated them.
He had an honorary position as an executioner because of his connections.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He's not
Okay.
he's not officially anything in any capacity. Everything
Okay.
that he does is simply because he does have a lot of power.
Okay. We will consider this, but there's no promises.
I look forward to your confirmation then. Bluebeard says as he snatches up his sword and quickly storms away to the elevators, and King Cole is just standing there. I think we perhaps should send him a apology card for our perhaps hasty response, but other than that, I think things went rather well with him.
I think that if you think that's necessary, then we can do that. But I do think, Mayor Cole, that he should still be okay with upholding the law. We can't make exceptions for him just because he's a very, very wealthy donor.
I understand that, and I absolutely support that position. He's very wealthy, though, so we're just... But you're right, and that's why I'm fighting for you to have the proper amount of time so that we ensure everything is standard and no questions can be raised. We will have our trial on Sunday. How goes the investigation? You're soon to convict our sheriff? Because that would wrap things up rather nicely.
We have quite a few leads, but we've narrowed them down to about 1 or 2. So we're closing in on the answers as well as we can. But I appreciate your...
You say we're narrowed it down to 1 or 2, and as you're speaking, his booming voice, wonderful! And he pats you on the back. He says, it's absolutely... I had full faith in you and your tenacity. It's why you're such a high echelon of the government to begin with. You're simply indispensable. Now, I have many important mayoral duties that I must attend to, and I shall make sure that you aren't bothered with. But good things, yes. And he will sally forth to his own office and leave you to it. And the rest of you are able, pretty much wrapping up things as Snow, you finish up with the mayor, and are free to do as you wish.
Snow is like, I'm used to this. just kind of, whew, keep that under wraps.
Hey, you're gonna keep that whole mayor and Bluebeard thing under wraps?
Oh, not from us. Not from
okay.
us, but just in general, she's gonna try to suppress the annoyance that she feels towards King Cole. Yeah. I think that's what she would do. At least her face says that, but she'd definitely share with everyone about the Bluebeard thing.
Yeah, I think you all convene in Bigby's office around Saiba. Snow clearly having had another fruitful conversation with Mayor Cole. And you, Narissa and Lynn, returning from the basement.
Hey, Snow, rough one? Here. And Saiba will pass you the remaining bit of the cigarette that they were smoking.
I think Snow normally would be like, absolutely not. But today, she takes that cigarette, she says thank you, she puffs it and hands it back. That's where we are.
We're all feeling a little bit
Appreciate it.
a little bit Bigby today.
Yeah.
The spirit of Bigby moves through us. Saiba will relay all of the information that she got from the docket to everybody as well, like pointing out all of the relevant papers and where all of the information is. So everyone now knows that the people that are disappearing are like straight up like disappearing. Like they're not dead. They're not like they're just gone. They're not here.
What does that
And it
even
seems
mean?
that Shep just knew too much, and that's why he was killed.
And
Are there
Shep
any-
was gonna meet with the queen before he got whacked?
Yeah, it
I-
seems. Sorry, go.
Are there any connections between all of you who have disappeared? Who are we missing? Are there any connections? Who have they talked to?
They just all
Anything at
seem
all?
like people who don't like it here, who haven't made friends, made connections, joined the community. People who don't fit in, I guess. Lonely people, more than anything. Okay, am I crazy, or is it possible that somehow the queen is giving these people what they want in a way, which is putting them back?
I would like all of you to roll a savvy check. When thinking about what it would take to get back to the homeland. The DC is, I'll say 5, 10, 15.
Okay. We're exploding here.
I got a 6.
I'm sorry, which
We
one?
exploded again here.
Oh my.
Savvy.
And
Nice.
that's going to be a 31.
Okay.
I got a 1!
Beat
No.
What'd you get, Snow?
Yeah,
I
Snow.
actually didn't hear what it. Sorry.
Savvy.
What was the savvy? Okay. 11.
Okay. So, what did Saiba get on the roll?
6. So I
Okay.
got the bare minimum information.
Lynn, I think there's a part of you that just, you left the homelands and you kind of just didn't look back. You were like, I don't want to be there. It's bad. And there's been no reason for you to look any further into it. The information is not relevant to you. For Snow and Saiba, I think Snow, you would understand in an official capacity. It is, in order to travel back, you have means to do so. There are gateways. There are things that you could, there are methods. But all of them are arduous. All you know are the ways you would travel back. Like, things that would take time and, like, preparation. And most of those gateways, the Fabletown government has a lockdown on. So if you were experiencing an exodus of any kind, you would kind of pick up on that. Saiba, you're looking into it from like a, hey, are these people being like, are these people just straight up just going home? And I think you key into the reason why Fabletown exists in the first place is because the adversary invaded all of your stories and made your worlds unlivable. And the idea of going back, even as like some kind of fanciful dream, that seems fatalistic. Nerissa, okay, you have done magic in this world. You've done magic. You've experienced. You've had charms and enchantments in order to exist within your time at the Pudding and Pie. The enchantments that the Crooked Man placed on you were, in a grand scale of things, fairly minor. They were simple anti kind of investigation charms. Yes, they had a, for lack of a better word, kill switch, but they were rather narrow in their scope. They simply prohibited you from talking about the business. They self-censorship. That's not a difficult thing to achieve through magic. The act of traveling from one far-off land to another is a level of magic that is unfathomable to you as a fable living in New York City. If you were to go to the witches on the 13th floor, the price that they would quote you would bring tears to Bluebeard's eyes. This is a unreachable thing, and it's happening a lot. You're looking at the docket that Saiba has in front of them, and it is a full list of people that have disappeared. And if they have magically traveled, this is a level of magic that is... It's hard to even understand how the Queen would have gotten their hands on this level of enchantment and this level of power. It might, it is chilling to think of someone with this level of power and reach.
Do I think it's actually that is being done, or is the Queen just pretend to be doing this and then these people are just dead? You know?
If they are just dead, this rivals any true crime documentary. The level of obfuscation that the Queen would have to achieve is unparalleled in order to make them simply not appear in this realm. It's possible. You know that it is possible for to remove someone's existence in its entirety. But that seems like quite an expense for someone to go to simply to get rid of a few fables. I mean, it's hard to see how these fables may have interfered with her business. It's easy to see how Shep interfered with the Queen's business, but beyond that, it's hard to tell any business connection between any of these other fables. And actually, if you would like, Lynn, you have been issued a reroll by Flynn, if you would like to give this another go.
I could try.
We believe.
Try. What was the DC again?
It was a 5, 10, 15.
No.
Oh, no.
Simply no.
Yeah, that's all the information that you can kind of piece together on this.
How would it be possible that the queen has access to so much magic? It's
I mean, Rumpelstiltskin was already operating on, or is operating with more magic than the 13th floor, so, I mean, at this point, is it really that out of the realm of possibility?
there's only so much anyone could do. It's a lot of resources, a lot of power.
And so many times. And what was Shep up to? I mean, if I knew someone was gonna murder me, I also would try to book a ticket out of here.
He had so many conspiracy theories, but Boy Blue didn't really know much about them. From what I remember.
It looks like Biggs almost had an idea.
Okay, I have a crazy idea.
Okay.
So there's a show that you're putting on tonight, right, Narissa? And it's the talk of the town, and so many people will be there, and all attention will be on you and the performance. It's kind
That's
of a
right.
good cover for breaking into the queen's office. While I was there, I saw a false door. There was a bookshelf in the office that definitely was not a bookshelf. I think there's something in there that might help us figure all this out. You know, how everything connects.
Right, but she won't be in attendance of that show, which means she'll probably be there.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, she might have other business to attend to. Either way, I mean, we're going to have to break in and then sneak around, but...
This might be a gamble, but I have a feeling she will be in attendance to the show.
Oh? Why do you say that? I mean, she was pretty clear about not coming.
I don't know. Everything she says is a lie. That's just how I feel.
I think she's right. I don't think she would pass up an opportunity, especially when you showed her up in a battle of wit, sass. I'm not sure what was going on there, but it was... You could tell it upset her. I think you might be right. She might show up as a show of power.
Or at least someone she works with is going to be in attendance.
If I know people with power, I don't think that she would want to send a assistant in her stead if she's trying to put you beneath her, so to speak.
I suppose if she has access to so much power, she could show up, but in some sort of guise.
Right? I actually didn't even think about that.
That's very true.
That's a terrifying thought, but yes, yeah.
I guess keep a lookout for that.
Yeah, dang it. Well, if she does show up, she wouldn't want to make a scene. Boss, can you get some other security for tonight?
I don't think she's going to make a scene, so I think we need security. Do you have an idea?
I mean, I can't let Saiba go alone, right?
Of course not.
You sure you want to come with?
Of course I do.
Okay, then. I guess we're going to split up tonight. You two will handle the theatrics and the show, and Lynn and I will try our best to see what's behind that bookcase.
You all break off. Saiba and Lynn, you catch a cab up to Chelsea. Snow and Narissa, you ride to the theater in order to get this show on the road. I'll say, let's go ahead and do. I'm gonna say for Saiba and Lynn, I want a group stealth check. The DC or a sneak check. The DC is going to be 20. However, it's added both of you together. So both of your combined dice rolls.
What's your die for sneak again?
It's 8.
Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Okay, but I think we have a couple of +1s, and also I
think
have
we
a
do.
lot of magic tokens.
Okay. Maybe it could work. Okay, I got a 10 on the die. I'll spend my 2 magic tokens to make that an 11. And then I'll wait to see if we need to do more. Did you roll a 9 at least? Oh, wait, you can't. You have an 8. D8.
So you did a 9. I rolled a 5.
Okay. How many magic tokens do you have?
Many.
You have 4?
If you
I
add
voted for it.
if you add 3, your D8 explodes.
Oh, true.
That's true. I will add 3.
Okay. So now you're good. You just roll.
Yeah.
You just need a 1.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I got a 6. So that's
that's you exceeded it by 5. It's 25. So
nice.
I will come back to you in a moment. Nerissa, I need you to give me a slick check. This is also going to be a 20, and this is for the entirety of the show. You can also add your bonus for Fables.
Okay.
Snow. I think
I have a +1 from the thank you chat, and I have +3, so that's a 23 total.
Okay.
Nice.
No, is there anything you would be doing as an audience member watching this show or the crowd or in like where is Snow's attention?
Snow is not one for theatrics or like theater, so I think she would probably be more like walking the crowd or trying to suss out any irregularities. I don't when watching Nerissa's back.
I think go ahead and give me a snoop check. DC will be 8.
Okay. That's a 2. There's no forgetting that. No. Gonna trip
Unfortunate.
over the heels. Yeah.
It's dark,
Trips onto the stage. Just
I want some sneakers.
honestly.
We'll get back to you in a moment.
Okay.
Nerissa, house lights go down. Stage lights kick up. You have the entirety of your actors have been told this is a very improvisational performance. They've been given a loose script, the loosest of scripts. What is it that you tell them that you want out of their performance? Where you're trying to convey, because you have been told to convey a very specific message, but is there something that you're trying to interweave within the narrative?
I think 2 things. One is I'm going to ask my cast to observe, like more than they perform. just to like observe the audience to see who is paying attention in a weird way. And because Rumpelstiltskin is in the audience, this is going to be so the narrative we agreed, right, with Rumpelstiltskin is wait, what was it that we agreed?
He wanted you to depict Bigby
Right.
being the murderer
Yeah.
of the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah. So I think what it is that the depiction of Bigby being the so essentially we are doing a show about the framing of Bigby. I am this is a malicious not malicious, but like it's a technicality. Like technically I'm complying. It's a malicious comply of everything I agreed with Rumpelstiltskin. I'm portraying the murder of Shep by Bigby, except it's to show how he is not the actual culprit. It is a question to the audience of someone who is pretending to be Bigby.
So it's almost as if like the act is being portrayed in front of them, and then the stage practically does a 180 and shows the kind of background behind the scene of like what was happening that kind of put everything into the puzzle pieces that it formed. Where
Yeah. So yeah, it's like we're doing a theater of the like it's a very Brechtian theater here of like doing it and then pausing to ask the questions to the audience of like, do you see what's happening? This is the truth. And we are doing experimental theater. It's in its form, and like in the middle of it we will actually like invite Rumpelstiltskin to come on stage and engage him in a way where like we put him front and center, and then while he is on stage, Nerissa herself is going to observe the audience and see if an emissary of the queen or the queen herself is observing or in attendance.
As your Bigby, you cast them. They have a lot of potential. I'm gonna roll for them, and we're gonna see how well they do. They have a D12 in Slick, and they have to get a 10. They just have to get a 10. So that's a 6. So you see them get on stage. I'm a wild animal, and I come here to commit murder. Being way too much, too much stage presence. And so as this really big performance is happening, Snow, you're kind of watching the periphery, and a voice comes up from behind you and says, you know, it's funny. You get wound up in things, and suddenly you're the bad guy. And you turn around to see like a 5'3" blonde-haired girl with rather striking features in a kind of simple, dark gown. It's funny. Boy Blue talks about work all the time, and sometimes you just kind of feel like you're there.
What makes you say that?
You hear things, you see how things play out. You get messages that are passed along, and they seem a bit ominous. So, let me be crystal clear on this. This investigation is about to be tied up with a little bow on top. All you need to do is just play the part.
And what part is that?
You're lieutenant governor. You just simply are official. You rubber stamp what needs to go through the motions, and you make sure all official channels are followed.
I think we have two very different takes on my job. But rest assured, I will find out the truth, and the public will know soon.
I was warned you might say that. So I'm gonna have to insist that your friends that are breaking and entering right now, they're gonna find something, and it's not gonna be great.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Maybe it's the theatrics or the lights, but
Yeah, it's a bit loud in here. This guy's really taking up too much of the stage. Anywho, I'm gonna go schmooze. Toodles. And she's just going to back out of the conversation. We cut over to a nondescript house in Chelsea as two individuals sneak through a very quiet night into house seems to be empty. You are actually able to find there's actually like it's weird. There's a roll-up door, like an industrial roll-up door in the back. It's peculiar, but like someone must have left it open for a late night delivery. Because you're able to actually make it through into the kitchen, and the kitchen just kind of is just like 2 rooms down from the office, and so you're easily able to hop over to the office. The office is actually completely empty. The house itself seems to be empty, and you're able to find the bookcase, and it's a bit tricky, but you find the switch. There's actually a switch behind a small clock, and you're able to flip it, and it opens to a very large freight elevator. Do the two of you want to write it down?
Wait, something doesn't feel right.
There's nobody here, and also, what the fuck is under this house?
Well, look, we might be going down into a trap. But I didn't come this far just to go back.
I specifically came in case it was a trap.
Okay, well, Prince, it's been nice knowing you. And Saiba will step into the elevator.
And then we'll follow. Yeah, well, you're gonna keep knowing me.
It's a simple freight elevator. There's literally a lever. It's either up or it's down. You flip that lever and you feel the shudder as the whole thing just kind of starts shakily sinking further and further down. You pass like wooden building structure, you pass foundation, you pass brickwork. You descend into a space, and it seems like you actually enter a really old subway tunnel. Like it feels like it was abandoned because it just didn't keep up with the times, and you're easily able to go all the way down to the bottom as the elevator reaches the vast opening of this space. There's it's run down, it's a bit schlubby, but you can see where there is like layers and layers of dirt from just dust collecting, but there's definitely paths that have been traveled multiple times back and forth. As you follow these paths, the lighting is low. It's those like really old like halogen lamps that buzz and have that sickly yellow light that kind of illuminates the space, but not quite enough. You're walking past old decorative works of subway that is long past usage. The station is long abandoned, except for this pathway that leads further and further in. And you eventually reach a chamber that is definitely where everything is leading up to. Seems to be like a large culvert in the floor, just a big empty gap. I would like both of you to do a snoop check. Will be difficulty 18. Savvy check will be difficulty 20.
I'm doing a snoop.
Also do a snoop.
And I don't make it with a 9.
Oh, and my dice rolled off my desk. Hold up. So that's a 2.
We're doing
You
great.
peer into this hole. It's just a hole. Like you look deep down and like you're underground, and yet as you look over it, it feels like almost like an updraft is coming through the hole, and you're catching like this wind that actually blows your hair back. You're already underground. You're in a cavern, and yet this wind is coming from somewhere.
Lynn. How did I not think of this before? The queen. She's the Red Queen, right? Where is she from?
She's through the looking glass. She's from Wonderland, right?
And how do you get to Wonderland?
Ah, fuck the rabbit hole.
I think this might be where everyone else is.
As you say that, you hear a soft clearing of a voice, of a throat behind you. I was worried you were going to get too as you turn around, you see the figure that you saw behind the desk. Only this time, she can't hide behind the desk. She's in the light, and you see she is massive. She is like 7.5 feet tall. She's carved of red marble. And she is writing, like half her body from her waist down is a plinth. As the queen, the Red Queen herself, moves into the room, says, you know, it's unfortunate that things had to go as they did. I tried to tidy up after myself, and unfortunately, Shep got a little too nosy. It's really a shame that he roped you into this. I blame myself equally, because I should have acted sooner. But if I couldn't clean up that mess, I certainly should clean up this one. I'm afraid you're both going to have to take a one-way trip. A excursion. But fret not, you're going home. The adversary actually is paying me very handsomely to bring back political prisoners for his cause, showing off, what have you. He has his reasons, I don't question. I simply get what I need. That unfortunately does not entail you. Farewell. And as she leaves the room, you hear a squawk as a large reptilian creature with a long kind of curving neck and snatching jaws that bite and claws that scratch. As the Jabberwocky enters the space and screams at you. We're going to cut from there. The show is in full display. You have shown to everyone, unquestionably, Bigby has been set up. The performance is outlandish. The lead got a bit carried away, but at the end, they stand in front of the audience and says, "Those of you who watch me here can see clear as day, I am the monster. But I did not do as they say. Judge me as you will. But know this, the deeds of which you hear are not what they appear to be." Everyone gives claps and gives their kind of throws their flowers at the stage. But you hear a clap that kind of reverberates more than everyone else's. As a man of diminutive stature steps up on stage. Rumpelstiltskin gives the actor a pat on the shoulder and he says, "Man, that is a good story, and really opened up my eyes and shown me that it's a terrible thing to lie to everyone, and I simply cannot lie anymore. You're looking for the one who killed the boy who cried wolf. He holds his hands out to you, Snow. Chain me up. close your investigation. Because you found him. It was me. And with that, we end this session of A Wolf Among Us, steeped in wolf's clothing. I have been the narrator, Patrick. You can find me on Blue Sky at Mr. Patrick Cakes, and I will pass it on to Hamna.
Hello, everyone. My name is Humna. I use any and all pronouns, and today I have been Saiba, who uses she, they pronouns, who's about to get murdered, maybe, possibly, or to disappear into Wonderland. I guess we'll find out. I am a tabletop performer and producer, amongst a bunch of other things. If you like what I do, you can follow me all over the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. I am most active on Blue Sky, so that's probably where you want to be. Right now, my brain. I'm sorry. That threw me. Where I'm like, why is Rumpelstiltskin doing? I'm sorry. I got so rattled. I was going to say I'm also the executive director of Tender Vicious Studios, which is a multimedia production studio that makes experimental art with intent. We have a audio drama podcast out right now called Lori's House, which is a story about imperfect memory, identity, and community. If you like sad shit and timey-wimey stuff, you should definitely go check it out. You can find Lori's House wherever you pod your casts. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Tenny. Please take this away from me. I'm too confused.
Hey, hello, hi. I don't know how, Patrick, I don't know how you expect us to do this after you dropped that on us, but that was so good. Anyway, hi, I'm Tenny. I go by she, her pronouns. I played Snow White tonight, who also goes by she, her pronouns. You can find me anywhere for the most part at It's Tenny with 2 Y's at the end. And really, I'm kind of a variety streamer, and I'll do a lot of, I'm a theater nerd, so I do a lot of I'm really into the character development. That's my thing. So come join on Twitch every once in a while. I'll be streaming a lot of roleplay and like GTA RP and random horror games, so come get scared with me. That's basically it. I'll send it over to Gwen.
Hi, I'm Gwen. I use she, her pronouns. I've been Prince with she, her pronouns. I guess we'll see who's the better reptile next session. Who's the better fairy tale creature? I am also I'm also on Lori's House. You should go check it out. Also, I do have things that are out. You should check your Discord notifications sometimes in the servers that you're in. I'm just in 90 of them. You can see me on Thorny Dryad's channel on Twitch, and also the VODs on YouTube for So Rises the Jade Moon. That is a Through the Breach campaign that is sponsored in part by Weird Miniatures, where I play a 7-foot cannibal cultist lesbian. So if you like this brand, it's a little less funny, but it's just as wacky. Yeah. So true. I'm still throwing by everything that's happening. Okay, Ren.
Hi, I have been Ren, and I have also been Faith today, as you have found out. Today, all of us use she, her pronouns. I am, you can reach me on Blue Sky as Birdic Inspiration or Rhino Riddler on Instagram. If you enjoy my work, you can find me as a pro GM on StartPlaying.games as the Lantern Keeper. As a tabletop performer, you can find me every other week on Sundays, right before this game, in a Star Wars live stream game on Dax's channel, where I play a Force user who does not have any idea what Force is. She is from a culture that calls it the Echo. But she does wield a lightsaber and does all the things that a Force user uses. And on Tuesdays, you can find me on streaming Rainbow's channel in a Girl by Moonlight game that you can check out. And on Thursdays, for the next couple of weeks, still ongoing, I am in a Vesson campaign on Nerds on Wheels. Nerds with Dice, actually. The channel is called Nerds with Dice. In a Vesson campaign that features Celtic, Irish mythological creatures, where I play a cultist. That's about it. I'm gonna popcorn to Tenny.
Oh.
Wait, you've already done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
Uh,
It's late. Yeah, it's late.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us here. This has been a lot of fun, and please join us next week for our finale of The Wolf Among Us. We are hope to see you there.